Today we have a 2010 Lexus LS460l. We'll be replacing the front air suspension. So let's go ahead and get to it. So first thing we're going to do with the 21mm socket or impact gun, remove the wheel with our wheel lock in place as well. So let's get this out of the way. So when it comes to taking off the struts, I always like taking off the top part first, just so I'm not putting the vehicle up and down and pretty much work it out. So first thing we'll do to get these struts is going to remove this top cover. We use the number 14 to remove 3 nuts, one here, and here. And once we do that, we can pull this off, which will expose the actual bolts holding these struts in place, or the nuts holding the struts in place. So let's get this off. So after you remove those 3 14mm nuts holding this cover in place, just pull it off. The sensor here, you just kind of basically just pull it straight out. Sorry, this is on camera. The sensor here, you just pull it straight out. It's just held in place right here. It just sits on top of the strut there. So now with the 14mm deep socket, we're going to remove these 3 nuts here. I just made a mark so I can just put it back in the same position. Once we do that, we'll just raise the vehicle back up and get back to working to the bottom. Now we're going to start removing the ball joint. First thing we're going to do is remove all these cotter pins from this control arm here and then this control arm here. And with the number 19, we're going to remove these nuts here. I've already got this one off. That one right there, I'm going to have to use it's like a wrench to remove, so I'm going to get that 19 out. Also, I'm going to strike the side of here with a hammer to release this from here. And then once we get all this removed, we're going to take a number 17 and remove 3 bolts, 1 here and 2 back here, which will then free up the ball joint to get replaced. So now I have the ball joint removed, I can go ahead and replace it. Just an FYI, when taking the joint off from that control arm right here, this one right here, it does get stuck. I had to use a ball joint tool with a air hammer to get it off, but after some time I got it off, beating it basically. So now we'll go ahead and replace it. So now that we got the ball joint removed, we're gonna go ahead and start moving everything up to the strut here before we get the strut removed from the bottom. So this number 10 bracket, go ahead and take it off. And then we're gonna remove this air line. There'll be some air that comes out, but it's not a big deal, so just push these tabs out the way. And then we're gonna push both these tabs, one here and one directly above it, through these holes. Just get like a pick or something to push it in and pull out at the same time, and it will release this. So let's get this out the way, get this out the way, and then we'll go back down to the bottom and get the strut out of here. So I've got my bracket removed from the strut here. Also removed my airline. Little FYI, I did have a little trouble trying to squeeze these little tabs to pull it out. So what I did was just pushed it all the way in and then pried with my pick, pried both sides of the tab and just yanked it out and able to pull it out of that. So let's get the strut now. Now that we're back down here, we're going to use a 22 to remove this nut and a 17 to remove this nut holding the sway bar link so that we get some more play in the lower control arm here. Now that we got everything removed down here and the strut's pretty much free from everything, we're going to try to swing it down and slide it out of here. So I just wanted to show this on camera before I actually remove it. So if you recall, this portion of the strut here, connect to it right here, it's faced on this side here. So what I did when I took it out of the lower control arm, it gave me enough room to use a number 19 and remove the bolt holding this to the strut. So once I did that, I was able to get this out the way and then push the strut back up, and now I can swing it out this way to release it out this way and get proper clearance. So now we're gonna do the exact same way to put the new one in, basically putting it in, and then I'm gonna put the 3 bolts up top to hold it secure and then slide this into place as well. So we have our new strut here ready for installing. We've already removed the old one, as you can see it's gone. So we're gonna go ahead and slide this one in, doing the opposite of what we did. So slide this in, and then we're gonna put that bottom bracket on once we slide it into place. Keep in mind that this part right here that goes to the airline will be facing the rear of the vehicle, as well as the bracket that has this little tab here. It's gonna be facing the same point here. So let's go ahead and slide this in and get that bracket on, and then let's just go ahead and set it in all together, and then I'll start the video again. So now I got the strut bolted to the lower control arm here, as well as my sway bar link. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my ball joint back in place here, and pretty much after that we'll be almost done. So with my old ball joint removed, I have my new one here. It's gonna be going in this direction with the point, higher point right here on the top right. It's gonna be facing like this in here, with the other control arm going into that one below it. So let's get this new one. Alright, now that we got the ball joint in place here, tightened down our 17mm bolts, our 19mm nuts here, all these are tightened down. We're gonna put this back here, just put the bracket in place here, and then we'll go up top and put the three nuts up top. So let's get this down, lower the vehicle, and get up top. So now I'm right here at the strut. I got that 10mm back on the bracket here. I'm gonna put the airline in and just pretty much just slide it in. Hear that click. And then we're gonna put these other two little clips in as well. This one goes this way, like so, and then this one on top. So now that we have that, just gotta tighten those nuts up top. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel back on, and lower the vehicle and just do everything up at once. So let's get this done. So I've gone ahead and tightened those 3 nuts for the strut. Now we're just gonna plug this sensor in. It only goes in this direction, the plug facing towards the engine. This is gonna go into that little thing in there. So just slide it in, and as you can see, it kind of locks in place. Now we'll just put the cover back on. Put those 3 nuts holding this in place back on, and we're done. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and more videos to come.